My name is Chris Rubino.
So Chris, what were the events that unfolded and then how did you get involved?
What happened tonight was my friend Christine and I were coming back from a show in the Groove at Smith's Point, friends of hers. We were coming north just over the bridge on Smith's Point, and directly in front of us, this truck went up on the median and then cut sideways and took out two people on a Harley Davidson and then crashed into a truck. What appeared he was going to, I said to her, stop, because the very first thing we wanted to do was help the two people on the ground on the motorcycle. And then the guy in the truck started to take off. She went to the people on the ground. I took off after the truck. The mistake that the truck made was he made a right-hand turn onto Lindell Avenue, which is the very first right-hand turn you can make over the bridge coming from Smith's Point, which I know is a dead end. There's water at the end of the block. So I ran halfway down the block, and then a neighbor ran out and said, he doesn't live on this block. I saw an officer coming up the block. I waved him down till he got to me. When he got to me, I said, this kid was in the truck with the driver. The driver is still at the end of the block. With that, a second patrol unit came down the block, and we heard the neighbor at the end of the block screaming, he's here, he's here. Me, the patrol car, and the guy who was on foot, we ran another 4 or 5 houses, I don't recall what it was, and the guy was apparently really messed up on drugs of some sort because there was smoke pouring out of the car, and it wasn't from crashing, because he crashed into the piling and the car in the driveway to try to get away. I guess he realized it was a dead end. The two officers, the one officer broke the back window out. The guy wasn't complying with the officer's request. The officer in front of me broke out the front window and then tased him. After he tased him, the guy was trying to pull the probes out. The officer that broke out the back window tasered him again. It still didn't phase. So he came up out of the sunroof, and thank God, because he absolutely shouldn't have been behind the wheel of a car. He was apparently very messed up on drugs of some sort. And there's a motorcycle in the street and 2 people are hurt as a direct result of it. So both of them are in custody down the block. Apparently everybody's telling me I'm a hero for the evening. I'm just a guy who I would hope would do, if I was in the same situation, I would hope somebody would, try to do the same thing.
I laid right on the ground next to the woman. The gentleman was complaining of back, but he actually was able to stand. Rose, the woman on the ground, was in a lot of pain, and she said her hip is out, and I just kept holding her hands and telling her to breathe through her nose and just telling her she's going to be okay. And she's like, am I going to die? And I'm like, no, you're not going to die. The ambulance came. They tried to move her. She was screaming. They eventually got her on a stretcher, and it was horrible. She was screaming so bad, and that's it. I just sat with her and held her hands. So.